Many Adventure Time characters could be seen as the most influential in shaping the direction of the series. We have Simon Petrikov, the Ice King, a human who was cursed with this crown that kept him immortal but had him lose his sanity. We have the main character Finn the Human, who never truly knew his true origin, and when he did, he realized just how tragic his life really is. We have Marceline, who has a deadbeat dad and had to say goodbye to her father figure after the crown began to take away his entire being. All of these characters' perceptions have changed drastically since the show started. However, there's one character that, although he makes cameos here and there in the show, was utterly forgotten. Yet a two-parter that left fans with this lingering sense of depression and dread. A character burdened with responsibility. A character who ran away from his past, but returned when the world had ended. This is the Ballad of Lemonhope, The Last Light. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. According to my analytics, 90% of you who watch my videos are not subscribed. I'm trying to reach 50k subs, and I'd really appreciate it if you could help me get there. Let's get to the video. So, a bit of backstory. In the episode Too Old, Princess Bubblegum comes to the Lemon Kingdom for some royal dinner and finds it disorganized and very uncomfortable. The two lemon grabs she previously put in charge are in a toxic relationship, with Lemon Grab 2 being the more reasonable one out of the two, and Lemon Grab 1 becoming a cannibal. We can see that the lemon people don't look right, like they've been through a lot. But Princess Bubblegum then comes across Lemonhope, and you can see from his appearance alone that he's not like the rest of the lemon people. He's respectful toward Princess Bubblegum, and above all, musical and talented. Lemon Grab here then comes in and forces him to stop playing the harp because it hurts his ears, and begins kicking him. PB defends him, saying that she's gonna take him to the Candy Kingdom and enroll him in school. This causes Lemon Grab to lash out, and so PB, Finn, along with the help of the lemon people and Lemon Grab 2, aid in getting Lemonhope out, chanting, just as they escape, Lemonhope stares at Lemon Grab 1 in the eyes, a look that foreshadows his nightmares we see later. With all that being said, let's now get to the good stuff, to the two-parter titled Lemonhope. We open with a dream sequence featuring a young Lemonhope soaring through the sky with angelic wings. Eventually he comes across a cluster of gray doors scattered across hills. One door stands out though, a red one. Drawn to it, he tries to open it, but it won't budge. Suddenly he hears loud knocking coming from it. That sound fades into the ringing of a doorbell, which smoothly transitions into Princess Bubblegum ringing a bell, signaling that class is about to begin. What's important to know here is the symbolism in this dream. For one, his soaring flight toward the glowing yellow circle may be a reference to the Greek myth of Icarus, who famously flew too close to the sun after receiving wings. I'll get more into this and the motif of the doors later on in the analysis section. Although it isn't exactly stated how old he is, we can see that he's grown up a bit from when we last saw him. Lemonhope slogs his way to class unenthusiastically. Princess Bubblegum then plays a video of Castle Lemon Grab. It's unfortunately not a pleasant sight, with Lemon Grab abusing many of the citizens that previously helped Lemonhope escape. However, the young boy isn't even watching, he's just doodling. The video ends with Lemon Grab 2 coming out to tell Lemonhope to save them, before it abruptly cuts off. You're our only Lemonhope! PB realizes he wasn't paying attention and tells him that one day it's gonna be his responsibility to save the lemon people. He, however, dismisses it, stating that he doesn't really care for anyone else. She then performs a small exercise, the classic, you have 2 cupcakes, this person has no cupcakes. Will you give them 1 cupcake? Lemonhope then states,
but I don't want to. I want both cupcakes! Finn can get his own cupcakes!
PB then says,
maybe we need something more hands-on.
Keep this piece of dialogue in the vault for now. Later, the two head out to the castle, where PB shows Lemonhope what the castle has come to. She tries to explain that his family set him free, so he's gonna have to set them free too. We see that the lemon people try to escape, but eventually always get caught, and well...
I'm going to eat you!
No!
In response to PB's plea, he starts acting like a spoiled brat, stating that they set him free, meaning that he can do whatever he wants, that no one can tell him what to do. So he runs off into the wilderness. The kid starts fucking around, playing his harp and flute, and sings a song about being free. I just want to call attention to one thing he does. He goes around this pillar of rocks in a circle, kicking this bird's nest, and arrives at the top. This is foreshadowing for how his final dream plays out, which, again, I'll get to later. After this, Lemonhope sees a ship and climbs on board, where he comes across some lemons. He just laughs it off dismissively, but it's clear that this will serve as a reminder of what Lemonhope is running away from. After falling asleep, the ship crashes, leaving Lemonhope stranded in the middle of nowhere. We then see another dream, where Lemonhope is a horse, and unknowingly is dragging along Lemon Grab 2. He's calling out to him to let him back on. Lemonhope then steps on one of these pink things, and we hear Princess Bubblegum's voice. She says Lemon Grab's famous catchphrase,
You are unacceptable!
before Lemongrab 2 starts saying, the sequence ends with the pink stuff supposedly drowning Lemonhope. The dream reflects Lemonhope's guilt over abandoning the lemon people. Dragging Lemongrab 2 behind him symbolizes the emotional burden he carries, and calling out to him shows that his repressed guilt is beginning to surface. Princess Bubblegum, and the pink that engulfs him, also represents his guilt for leaving her behind, especially since she played a major role in securing his freedom. We open up on a cloud. Yes, this is slight foreshadowing too, and we see that Lemonhope is all dried up. He wakes up and says,
A lot of nightmares again. I guess that's freedom for you.
Suggesting that he has continually dismissed them. Unfortunately, Lemonhope runs out of lemons and needs water to stay hydrated. He leaves the ship in search of some, briefly glancing at the same oddly placed cloud from earlier in the scene, and commenting on how strange it looks.
Couldn't rain a little, could ya? Cloud?
He treks across the desert for a long time, until finally he passes out. That concludes part 1. Honestly, it sounds like Lemonhope really needs some gamer subs, the sponsor of today's video. I know you guys love that segue. They've got a variety of flavors that are sure to fulfill any sort of craving you're having. You wouldn't think it, but these drinks have 0 sugars and 0 calories. Use my code OOLIAS to get 10% off your order. The link is down below. Part 2 begins with that clean looking cloud raining all over Lemonhope's body, bringing him back to that colorful and hydrated self. We get introduced to this character named Phlannel Boxingday, and that Phlannel is with a P. Turns out he's been observing Lemonhope from that cloud. Phlannel tells him that he can come and stay with him until he feels stronger. So the two start sailing the clouds when this creature comes after them. After Lemonhope plays his harp, they're able to crash it into this rock. They then circle around, and we see what appear to be these little lemon creatures falling from its mouth. Lemonhope freaks out and demands that Phlannel stop the ship. Turns out it wasn't lemon people, but just gold. It looks like Lemonhope's guilt is now manifesting in his real life. Phlannel then offers Lemonhope the opportunity to become his apprentice, and he agrees, stating,
It's a dream come true! A dream come true! A dream come true!
This quote echoes as we see yet another nightmare. He's walking with these chains strapped to him, singing the song we first heard in Too Old. He sees bones, which most likely represent the deaths that occurred on account of the lemon people setting him free. He sees Lemongrab eating a cow, which keeps repeating to Lemonhope to keep running. Then we see that young Lemonhope is puppeted by himself, showcasing that although he has escaped the constraints of his purpose, he is still bound by his emotional guilt and unresolved trauma. He wakes up and tells Phlannel of his bad dream, which, according to him, is the 3rd time he's had a nightmare this week. Lemonhope says that he is free to do whatever he wants, but he can't stop thinking about his old life. Phlannel elaborates on the guilt Lemonhope feels, saying that until he repays his debt, he will always remain a prisoner. He then states,
Lemonhope, you're a doer, not a listener. You learn with your hands and heart, not your head.
I'll get back to a small implication this has later. So Lemonhope decides to go back and end the tyranny of Lemongrab once and for all. Phlannel drops him off, and Hope enters the castle, where he's instantly greeted by Lemongrab 1. This time, the fat bastard has covered his ears, so Lemonhope can't just play his heart to piss him off. Lemongrab 2, who for some reason is still alive in his belly, tells Lemonhope to play the harp and that he'll take care of the rest. He quickly takes off the earplugs, and with Lemonhope playing the harp, Lemongrab 1 explodes. We then see one final dream.
Coming!
Lemonhope hears the same knocking sound from the beginning and begins walking toward it, choosing to walk even though he has wings. He only uses them once he reaches the long staircase. Finally, he reaches the top, and with some force, he's able to push through the door. He finds himself in this weird, eerie place devoid of color. The music here sounds ominous and dark. Lemonhope walks up this pillar of stones, going around until finally reaching the top at this bird's nest. As he reaches it, the music changes to this triumphant and pleasant melody, and the sky is turned a warm color, representing that he has finally overcome his burden. We cut to Finn playing his flute and PB sewing up the remains of Lemongrab, a new one this time who isn't a psychopath. She asks Lemonhope if he would stay at the castle to become the kingdom's champion. She's even set up a room for him. He declines though, saying that he only came back because he wanted to stop having nightmares. Now that he's repaid his debt, he says he'll be back in 1,000 years when he's tired of being free. The two are a bit surprised to see him leave, with PB saying that she even wrote a song for him. After some pestering, she agrees to sing it to Finn. What we see next is one of the darkest, most somber moments in Adventure Time.
Young Lemonhope, born from candy and glue, creator of beauty and ugliness too.
It's an unknown date in the future, and Lemonhope is old and wrinkly. We see him look at what we thought was Finn and Jake's treehouse, grown high into the sky. This is later confirmed to be Fern. He walks across the gloomy landscape where we see these broken flying cars. He walks through a ruin and abandoned candy kingdom. He eventually comes across the Lemon Castle that has also been deserted. He finds the room that Princess Bubblegum made for him that has been completely untouched. He turns off this shield, probably the thing that has been keeping him alive for so long. He lies on his bed as we hear PV say,
And now you're back home.
This scene stuck with me for years. It's such a dark and depressing atmosphere, accompanied by the ominous melody sung by Princess Bubblegum, that bleakly showcases that this is the end of it all. Later on in the series, we do see more glimpses of this future, but I think this scene specifically takes place a little after Shermie and Beth's lives. For one, we don't see anyone in this future. No candy citizens, no huge gumball guardian, no Shermie or Beth, not even the ice thing. What about those weird Rainicorn hybrids we saw in Greyable's 1000+? There's nothing but Lemonhope. To me, Lemonhope is the only one who survived the abandonment and chaos of Ooo. Why? What's that saying again? Hope dies last. In the most dire of circumstances, after it's all gone to shit, what do we have? It's hope. Hope is what drives us to live. It is what gives us meaning. Without hope, you have nothing. And since Lemonhope here comes back, presumably to die, that means that he is the last light that is extinguished. While I can say that this is very bleak and tragic, and my personal interpretation of how the world of Adventure Time ultimately ends, I don't necessarily think it's true. Princess Bubblegum is hinted at being immortal along with Marceline, and it doesn't look like enough time has passed between Shermie and Beth's lifetime to warrant this theory being true. Besides, Lemonhope did say he'll come back in 1000 years, which is when the time skip in the finale of Come Along With Me takes place. But then again, it's 1000 years later. Maybe another comet hit Ooo and destroyed everything. We just don't know. Now just imagine how shocking this was to see when it first came out. This episode was in season 5, meaning that even though we still follow some fun adventures with Finn, Jake, and other characters in the episodes to come,
Jake did excessive force on me.
I'm sorry.
Let me kiss it!
Oh, ew!
Hurry up, get in here.
in the back of our minds, we know that a grim and desolate future awaits. Thankfully though, with how Shermie and Beth live, it doesn't seem like a depressing future to them. After all, it's all they've ever known. In fact, you could argue that about Finn and Jake's lifetime. They too live in a post-apocalyptic world caused by the Mushroom War. Just another reason why this show's storytelling is so good. Hope's story is very reminiscent of the story of Jonah from the Bible. God told Jonah to go to the city called Nineveh to tell them to stop doing bad things, but he declined, got on a ship, and went the opposite direction. This is similar to how Lemonhope got on the ship with the lemons, ignoring Princess Bubblegum's requests. While on the ship, there was a harsh storm, and Jonah realized he was the reason for it, so the sailors threw him off, causing the storm to stop. After that, a whale swallowed him. He was in there for 3 nights and 3 days. This could potentially connect to how Phlannel says that Lemonhope has had 3 nightmares in 1 week. Eventually, the whale spits him out, and Jonah goes to Nineveh to tell the people to change their ways. This is similar to how Lemonhope eventually returns to Castle Lemongrab and saves everyone. That is where the similarities end though, but it's cool to see biblical references in a cartoon. His final dream, where he climbs up this pillar of rocks, is reminiscent of what he did when he ditched PB in the beginning. He kicks over this bird's nest, but in the dream, he ends up in a large one. Bird nests often symbolize a new beginning. For Lemonhope, it's his new beginning to live a life without the guilt and responsibility he was burdened with. The recurring theme of the locked doors in his dream symbolizes Lemonhope's inability to move forward. No matter what he does, he can't open the door to a new chapter in his life until he confronts and resolves his guilt. As I mentioned earlier, his having wings and flying close to the sun in his first dream could be a reference to the Greek myth of Icarus. He was given wings to fly and be free, but was ultimately burned for being prideful. Lemonhope at first wanted to be free to soar through the sky, but found that he burned in the process. I also love the title cards. Part 1 showcases Lemonhope looking to the right, to what seems like a bright future of freedom. We later find out that this isn't exactly the freedom that he was looking for, as he was a prisoner to his guilt. The second title card showcases a rainy terrain, where Lemonhope looks to the left, to Castle Lemongrab. His looking to the left represents how he must confront his past, which will ultimately lead to true freedom. Its somber atmosphere conveys how hard it is to confront the past, but you have to if you truly want to be free. This motif of being unable to move forward is something I used in my book The Shattered Absolution. There's actually a particular scene that's very reminiscent of the dreams Lemonhope has, and I didn't realize it until I was rewatching these episodes. With that being said, I was heavily inspired by a lot of the themes, characters, and storylines of Adventure Time. The story about a boy trying to cope with a heavy loss as he tries to fight a monster. It heavily revolves around grief. If you're interested, please check it out down below. I'm also working on an audiobook. If that's something that interests you, let me know in the comments. Before I close off, let me just bring up Phlannel again. This is the only episode he shows up in, and he never appears again. It is highly speculated among the fandom that this guy is Princess Bubblegum in disguise. There are several similarities. For one, they both have pink skin, they both speak German.
You are a prisoner still. In deinem Kopf.
What is all that noise?
Come on, Glove!
Their initials are the same. He rubs Lemonhope's head just like PB did.
Let's go, dude.
Okay, dude. We're going on a field trip.
She even says,
Maybe we need something more hands-on.
while Phlannel says,
You learn with your hands and heart, not your head.
and finally PB says,
This is the Lemon Earldom perimeter. Unfortunately, there are pacts and treaties preventing me from getting any closer.
just as Phlannel does.
Of course I'll take you as far as I can, but I can't interfere directly in lemon grab politics. All those old pacts and treaties
Not to mention that you can hear him say the word Xanoids briefly,
have me sklonked up tighter than a synthetic Xanoid sterilizer bed compressor.
which in a previous episode PB starts waffling about.
Then, what the cabbage? I was learning about Xanoids.
If you ask me, this is 100% true and fits in with her character. In the past, she disguised herself as Martin to help Finn with the grief of losing his arm, and she wouldn't just let Lemonhope go off by himself. She would keep an eye on him. Overall, Lemonhope's story is one about confronting the past, and one that echoes the themes of the importance of hope. Let me quote Shawshank: "Fear is a prison, hope can set you free. If you don't have hope, then all else is lost. Even if it may seem impossible, keep hoping and good things will come." Please leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. As I stated before, I'm almost at 50k and I would really appreciate it if you help me get there. Have any other Adventure Time topics you want me to discuss? Leave them down below. Don't worry, I see you guys. Marceline and Ice King's videos will come eventually. Don't forget to check out Gamer Supps and my novel down below, and thanks for watching.